Something interesting is happening right now, and honestly, it feels like we're getting closer to a major decision than a lot of people realize. Every day that goes by, the pressure keeps building, the questions keep coming, and sooner or later, the team is going to have to make a choice that could impact the entire season. The crazy part? The answer might already be right in front of them. There's a lot to unpack from the latest developments, and some of the comments coming out recently have only made this situation even more intriguing. If you're a Vikings fan, you're definitely going to want to stick around, because what happens next could tell us a lot about where this team is headed in 2026. Before we jump in, do me a favor. Smash that like button if you're ready for Vikings football, and drop a SKOL in the comments if you're riding with this team all the way this season. The Vikings may be approaching a decision that could shape the entire season, and the most intriguing part is that the answer might already be sitting right in front of everyone at minicamp. Yet day after day, the quarterback competition continues. The reps keep getting split, and with every practice, a bigger question emerges. Are the Minnesota Vikings helping their future or delaying it? What makes this situation fascinating is that the debate is no longer just about talent. It is about timing. It is about preparation. And according to the information coming out of Vikings minicamp, there is a growing belief that Minnesota needs to bring this competition to an end sooner rather than later. The biggest concern revolves around one simple word: reps. No matter which side of the debate fans are on, whether they believe Kyler Murray should be the starter or whether they want to see J.J. McCarthy continue developing, one fact remains impossible to ignore. The starting quarterback needs as many repetitions as possible before Week 1 arrives. Every snap matters at this stage of the offseason. When quarterbacks are rotating with the first-team offense, valuable opportunities are being divided. One series belongs to one quarterback. The next belongs to another. The problem is that neither player receives the uninterrupted workload normally given to a franchise starter. That concern has become even more significant because of the circumstances surrounding both quarterbacks. J.J. McCarthy continues to develop within Kevin O'Connell's system. While there have reportedly been encouraging signs and steady progress, he is still a young quarterback learning the demands of NFL football at the highest level. Kyler Murray faces a completely different challenge. He is learning a new offensive system while simultaneously building chemistry with an entirely new group of receivers and teammates. Every practice rep is an opportunity to accelerate that process. Meanwhile, across the NFC North, the competition is not waiting. Jordan Love is receiving starter reps. Jared Goff is receiving starter reps. Caleb Williams is receiving starter reps. Those quarterbacks are maximizing every practice opportunity, while Minnesota continues balancing its workload between two different players. And that leads to another issue that continues growing with each passing day: the noise. Players may not care about media discussions. They may not spend much time worrying about what analysts, reporters, or content creators are saying. But eventually, constant questions become exhausting. Every press conference becomes about the quarterback battle. Every interview becomes about the quarterback battle. Every headline becomes about the quarterback battle. At some point, everyone inside the building benefits from clarity. Imagine being Justin Jefferson. Imagine knowing exactly who your Week 1 quarterback is going to be. Instead of dividing practice time and chemistry-building opportunities, the offense could begin fully focusing on strengthening one quarterback-receiver connection heading into the regular season. That is why the old NFL saying continues to get repeated: if you have two quarterbacks, you have none. And there may be growing evidence that Minnesota is reaching that point where a decision becomes more valuable than the competition itself. Reporter Alec Lewis highlighted this concern perfectly when discussing the balance between competition and preparation. The question is no longer whether competition can motivate players. The real question is when those motivational benefits stop outweighing the importance of preparing one quarterback for the season. That distinction matters. Competition can be healthy. Competition can push players. Competition can create urgency. But eventually, the team must transition from evaluation mode to preparation mode. The Vikings appear to be getting closer to that line. What makes this even more important is the schedule waiting for Minnesota. The opening stretch of the season is not forgiving. The Vikings are expected to face the Green Bay Packers before traveling to Soldier Field to take on the Chicago Bears in their home opener. Those are two difficult divisional matchups that could immediately test a quarterback still adjusting to his role. And 0-2 start is not impossible. In fact, it is a realistic possibility regardless of who wins the competition. That reality increases the urgency surrounding the quarterback decision, because whoever earns the starting role will need every possible advantage before stepping onto the field. There is some relief later in the early schedule, with games against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Miami Dolphins, and New Orleans Saints. Those matchups could provide an opportunity for the offense to find its rhythm. But if Minnesota wants to take advantage of that stretch, preparation must begin now. Another major factor involves the running game. The Vikings understand that making life easier for their quarterback will be critical. Whether the starter is Kyler Murray or J.J. McCarthy, a productive rushing attack can reduce pressure, create favorable situations, and help the offense establish consistency early in the season. That is why the development of the running back room could become one of the most overlooked storylines of training camp. At the same time, there have been encouraging comments regarding McCarthy's progress. Offensive coordinator Wes Phillips reportedly described McCarthy's development as a continuous upward trajectory. That is significant because early struggles were expected after his recovery and adjustment period. Yet the reports suggest that improvement has been steady and noticeable. Still, despite those positive developments, many observers continue to view Kyler Murray as the favorite to ultimately win the job. And if that is truly the direction Minnesota is heading, every additional day without a decision becomes more difficult to justify. Because once the Vikings finally choose their quarterback, the real work begins. The race for Week 1 will be over. The preparation for a playoff run will officially begin. And that decision may arrive much sooner than many fans expect. What do you think, Vikings fans? Should the team officially name Kyler Murray QB1 right now? Or should Kevin O'Connell keep the competition going with J.J. McCarthy a little longer? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and tell me which quarterback gives Minnesota the best chance to win in 2026. Another development that deserves serious attention came from one of the people closest to the organization. When Tom Pelissero discussed the quarterback competition, his comments suggested that the Vikings may already be much closer to a decision than many fans realize. Pelissero, who has consistently maintained strong connections within the Vikings organization, indicated that he does not expect this competition to drag through the entire preseason. According to what he is hearing, Minnesota could walk away from this minicamp period with a very clear picture of who QB1 will be. And honestly, that might be exactly what this team needs. Because if training camp opens and the Vikings are still splitting first-team reps evenly between Kyler Murray and J.J. McCarthy, that could signal a much bigger problem. It would suggest that neither quarterback has truly separated himself from the other. For a team with playoff expectations, that's not an ideal scenario. The Vikings are not rebuilding. They are not entering a transition year hoping to win 6 or 7 games. There is real pressure inside this organization to take the next step. Kevin O'Connell has built one of the league's most respected offensive systems, but now the expectation is clear. Win playoff games. That's why the quarterback position remains under such a powerful spotlight. If Murray wins the job, the expectation will be that his experience and playmaking ability elevate the offense immediately. If McCarthy somehow forces his way into the starting role, it would mean his development has accelerated beyond expectations. Either way, Minnesota needs certainty. One of the most interesting long-term observations from this discussion is that there is still no guarantee the Vikings quarterback of 2027 is currently on the roster. The conversation around Murray and McCarthy is important, but the organization will ultimately be judged by whether it finds a long-term answer capable of competing for championships. Meanwhile, there was another intriguing note from minicamp that generated excitement. Aaron Jones reportedly offered high praise for young running back Deion Claiborne, comparing his burst and explosiveness to that of Jahmyr Gibbs. That's not a comparison thrown around lightly. If Claiborne develops into anything close to that type of weapon, Minnesota may have discovered a future difference-maker in its backfield. Combined with Jordan Mason and the veteran leadership of Aaron Jones, the Vikings could possess a much stronger running game than many national analysts currently expect. And if that rushing attack delivers, it could make life significantly easier for whoever wins the quarterback battle. The next few weeks could determine the direction of the entire season. The quarterback competition, the running game, and the overall development of this offense are all coming into focus at exactly the right time. Now, I want to hear from you, Vikings fans. Who should be the starting quarterback for Week 1? Kyler Murray or J.J. McCarthy? Do you agree that the competition needs to end soon, or should the Vikings continue evaluating both players through training camp? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss the latest Vikings news, rumors, and exclusive updates. SKOL!